Okay, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here this morning with a group of individuals who are almost as difficult to assemble as the site that we're talking about here today. But I do want to take a moment just to mention the people that are here standing with me. Of course, you're going to hear from Governor Nixon, Senator Blunt, Congressman Clay this morning, and you're, let's see, and you're also, we have with us a number of people who I'm going to mention, not necessarily in the order that they're standing here. Senator Joe Keaveney, State Senator Jamila Nasheed was not able to be here today, but she certainly has been helpful. State Representative Jake Hummel, Comptroller Darlene Green. I know that President Board of Aldermen was planning on being here, but I don't see him right now. Fifth Ward Alderwoman Tamika Hubbard, in whose district this is located. She's been a great advocate and a tremendous supporter. Otis Williams, St. Louis Development Corporation, Sheila Sweeney and Rodney Krim from the Economic Development Partnership are with us. County Councilman Michael Mara, Jeff Abusi from the Building and Construction Trades, Mavis Thompson's here, Alderman Vaquero, Alderwoman Behringer, Chief Dodson, and Chief Jenkerson as well. I think I hit everybody that's up here. But what this represents is just a sampling of the individuals in various levels of government and the community who have been working together to help us keep 3,100 jobs and NGA here in the city of St. Louis. County Executive Stenger was unable to be here, but he and I have both, we've been working on this together. As you know, there's two sites that have been in contention in the county, but County Executive Stenger took a lead, and he and the Economic Development Partnership got together and endorsed the city site as the preferred site in Missouri, which is something we are very pleased with and are very much appreciative. So with his support and leadership and the strong support of Governor Jay Nixon, Senators Blunt and McCaskill, U.S. Representatives Lacey Clay, as well as the aldermen and a lot of other people behind me, we are in a position to keep these jobs in St. Louis. Let me begin by saying that St. Louis and Missouri are very proud to have been home of National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency now for over 70 years. We, the state and the city, are committed to helping NGA fulfill its mission. That's how we're going to win this, just as we've done for the last 72 years. In less than a month, the NGA will announce where its plans to move 3,100 jobs will be located, where the federal government will make a $1.75 billion investment into a community, and where more than 1,000 people will work to build this intelligence campus. We know that St. Louis City is the best choice for the NGA to fulfill this mission for many reasons, and today's announcement will make this an even easier choice for the NGA. On Friday, I told National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency Director Robert Cardillo that we will offer the NGA land at no cost. Now, as I said, Mr. Cardillo is he's the head, he heads up the agency. He is also the person who will be making the decision, and when I told him about our offer of the land, although he's got a great poker face, I thought I saw him crack a smile. So it was a small, subtle smile, but I think it was there. The work the city, the county, and the state, and so many others have undertaken to prepare the St. Louis site for NGA has been extensive. The city itself began more than 2 years ago. The state and county have joined us along the way as strong partners. We know that a new NGA facility in North St. Louis will catalyze our entire community. Jobs, economic investment, and the ability of the project to transform the neighborhoods near the Pruitt-Igoe site will continue the revitalization we are seeing in other parts of the urban core. Do we want to take care of this, or should we just keep going? We might as well, do that. All right, yeah, there you go. The case we have made to NGA to build and grow here is a strong one. As Director Cardillo has noted in the past, the intelligence community must succeed in the open. After all, we no longer live in a Cold War era. The North St. Louis site for the next West headquarters increases NGA's resiliency in case of a natural disaster or attack by separating it from other defense facilities. Yet it keeps it close to critical data facilities, Lambert Airport, and the city's center of business, education, and technology, which Director Cardillo recently cited as the type of entities with which NGA must partner with in moving forward. Plus, the North St. Louis site is not only closer to where the vast majority of its employees live, but it also better positions the NGA to attract its next generation workforce of millennials who find the amenities of urban living and short commute times attractive reasons to choose an employer. We are planning to improve the roads around the site, and we are working with Metro to adjust its current and planned rail and bus networks to connect NGA to the transit system as strongly as possible. And finally, we have the right people ready to build the state-of-the-art facilities well and in accordance with federal hiring guidelines. Our local labor unions, here represented by Jeff Abusi, have proposed an innovative minority workforce recruitment plan for the construction of the facility that will help federal government support its goals of the Promise Zone, as well as the executive orders supporting the construction of federal facilities in urban areas. Taking together, all this makes a very strong case for building the NGA facility here in the city of St. Louis. After 1,000 conversations, at least it seemed that many, I am confident that the case has been heard fairly. They listened to us, they paid attention, and I think they're going to make the right decision. I hope to be able to reconvene this group in April with an announcement that we have succeeded. And it would not happen, of course, without everybody that's behind me and many, many more. So it's not my pleasure now to introduce someone who has really taken a strong lead at the state level at every facet of our approach and in a lot of different ways. And I want to thank you, Governor. So I want to introduce at this point Governor Jay Nixon. I want to thank Governor Nixon for his tremendous leadership on this effort.
Thank you, Mayor. It is an honor to be here today on behalf of 6 million Missourians as we present a strong, united front in support of this North City site. Now, we all know that this is a transformational opportunity for the city of St. Louis. A $1.7 billion construction project that will catalyze the redevelopment of the north side. The next NGA West will provide an economic shot in the arm to the entire St. Louis region. But it's important to note that this is a transformational opportunity for the NGA as well. The men and women of National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency play a vital role in keeping our nation safe in an increasingly dangerous world. It is a mission that has never been more important or more difficult in face of ever-changing threats and constant advances in technology. And to carry out that mission, the NGA needs access to the smartest, hardest working, and most creative workforce on the planet. They'll need to leverage synergies that are only available in a vibrant, urban environment. They'll need cutting-edge research and next-generation technology. They'll need problem solvers and innovators who can stay one step ahead of the bad guys. There is only one site that offers everything NGA needs to continue keeping our men and women in uniform safe and our nation strong, and that is North St. Louis. And with the announcement that the mayor just made, the choice is even clearer. By locating in North St. Louis, the NGA would tap into a high-tech ecosystem that is teeming with activity and innovation. In places like Cortex and T-Rex, entrepreneurs are helping make St. Louis one of the top startup cities in the nation. At world-class research hubs like Washington University, St. Louis U, and the Danforth Science Center, scientists, engineers, and mathematicians are developing solutions to the world's most pressing problems. St. Louis is where the NGA has made its home for over 70 years. and it is far and away the best place for the NGA to build a brighter, more secure future. That's why the state of Missouri has been a proud partner in this effort from day one. Working in a bipartisan way, we passed legislation to enable significant state investment in redeveloping the North St. Louis site. House Bill 514 provides additional capacity to ensure the state's redevelopment program can accommodate a project of this size. I want to thank those legislators that helped make that happen in a bipartisan way, represented today by leaders from the House, Senate, Joe Kevaney, and the House, Jake Hummel. We appreciate their indefatigable efforts on behalf of the state and on especially this region on this important project. But the state's commitment didn't stop there. I've been to D.C. a number of times, met personally with NGA Director Robert Cardillo. I thank Senator Blunt for his office that day, allowing the use of that to send a clear message of unified approach from our state. I went to the current NGA West site to talk directly with the officials and workers at that site. In October, a group of local, state, and federal officials came together for NGA's public hearing in the city of St. Louis for an overwhelming show of support for this site. I would appreciate anybody not telling my doctor, since it was the first appearance after bilateral knee surgery, it was as I limped to the top. The mayor helped me get up that day, but I'm walking fine now. I did 6 miles yesterday on the trail. All told, the state of Missouri has committed up to $131 million in resources for this project. That's going to support this redevelopment of this new NGA West. Working together, we have overcome every single obstacle, and we have met all of the NGA's criteria. The site is ready, the funding is in place, our partners are united. Looking at its state-of-the-art headquarters in the heart of St. Louis will give NGA access to the talent, technology, amenities, and infrastructure it needs to continue protecting our nation here at home and enhancing security around the globe. That is why I am more confident than ever that NGA will make the right choice for this region, the right choice for America, and keep this vital national security asset right here in the great city of St. Louis. Now, I get the great honor of introducing a congressman from this district who has been an incredible leader on this and many other things, but specifically on NGA. Congressman Lacy Clay has been, from before basically anybody else, leading the way in making sure that we knew what the punch lists we need to get done were out there, and that we were accomplishing those in a way that got them done quickly, efficiently, and effectively, not only for taxpayers but for the country. We simply would not be here but for the efforts of the congressman of the 1st District, Congressman Lacy Clay.
Thank you, Governor, and I also want to thank Senators Blunt and McCaskill, County Executive Stinger, and all our partners for everything that you are doing to help St. Louis in this effort to win NGA. 3 years ago, when we started this push at the federal level, I could never have imagined that we would be able to build a bipartisan coalition like the one we have created together. And NGA at Northside has earned the support of the entire Missouri congressional delegation, the overwhelming majority of the state legislature, the St. Louis Board of Aldermen, the St. Louis County Council, and the entire business, labor, and cultural leadership of this community. We have assembled a rare and remarkable team, and you've already heard us talk about why relocating NGA at Northside is the best choice to advance their vital national security mission. But it's also the best choice for the marvelously talented people who work there, and for the thousands of new employees who will be recruited to work there in the future. You see, the days when talented young people wanted to commute 25, 35, 45 miles a day to go to work are over. All across America, young, talented millennials who are part of the innovation generation want to live near work, live near restaurants, live near entertainment, near world-class cultural institutions, and most importantly, the best and the brightest want to live near other centers of talent and creative energy, like Cortex, Washington Avenue, and our great research university, because they are working the hardest problems of today and the biggest challenges that America will ever have. You just can't do that in a cornfield that's next to a strip mall in an Air Force base. You know, now much has been said about high-level efforts to win this competition, and in my case, that extends all the way to the White House, where I have made our pitch directly to President Obama, and in your press packet, a letter that I sent last week to Valerie Jarrett, the President's most senior advisor, and I will be visiting with her again very soon. And I will reemphasize exactly what I told the President. Relocating NGA to North St. Louis would be a natural extension of his commitment to urban America and the tremendous tools of renewal that he and his administration have already provided to St. Louis. Powerful tools like the Strong Cities, Strong Communities program, the Choice Neighborhoods program, and the most powerful tool of all, the highly coveted Promise Zone designation. And this will not only accelerate redevelopment of the community surrounding it, but it will accelerate redevelopment throughout North St. Louis. It would also be legally faithful to the presidential executive order that was signed in 1978 that focuses on locating federal facilities in the urban core. And as I have reminded the White House on numerous occasions, when it comes to redevelopment in North St. Louis, the federal government owes us one after the debacle of Pruitt-Igoe. That great federal failure played out on television screens and in newspapers across this country. It was a major contributor to the decline that we are still trying to reverse today. But this project, this new NGA West, is a chance to replace that failure. And the NGA and St. Louis have been together for a long time, and North St. Louis is ready to welcome NGA. So let's stay together. Let me also bring forward my strongest federal partner in this effort, my colleague and friend, Senator Roy Blunt. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you, Lacey. It's been a real this has been an effort where Senator McCaskill and I and Congressman Clay have worked closely together. I know that Claire would like to be here today, but we're thinking about her as she deals with the challenge she's dealing with. But while she's doing that, she and I are continuing to talk about what we need to do to be making the best case here. Legislative leaders on both sides in Jefferson City have been very supportive of this. The governor certainly supportive. I think no question the real quarterback of this effort has been Mayor Slay, who understands what it means and understands what can happen as a result of this. You know, interestingly, because of the kind of work that's done and has been done for 70 years at NGA, the community's never really had a reason to fully embrace how important this facility is. It's not the kind of work that we've ever talked about. We've probably talked about it if you're like me and you're on the Intelligence Committee in the Senate. I'm a little comfortable that we talk about it as much as we can because it's as much as we do, because it's such a crucial facility. The National Geospatial work for the country divided in two places, one Springfield, Virginia, the other one here, both absolutely capable of doing everything that needs to be done. Just a few weeks ago when there was a snowstorm in Washington, which as Congressman Clay and I know, it's embarrassing how quickly Washington can be shut down by a snowstorm, but the the facility in the east that was helpful for Governor Nixon to mention, the one at Springfield, Virginia, didn't open, and 100% of all the geospatial work that was being done for the United States of America was being done right here. That's the way both of these facilities are intended to function, and I think the city and the state have done a great job in making this case. We've tried to do our best at the federal level. As I said, I'm on the Intelligence Committee, and because of my long association with what happens here at this facility, I took geospatial as my principal portfolio. And in the many visits on just daily work and about this facility I've had with Robert Cardillo, who runs NGA, he's been very appreciative of how the state and the city have stepped up. I think Congressman Clay, as you mentioned, he particularly seems to me to appreciate the importance of how you recruit this future workforce. You know, this facility, obviously it matters where the current workforce would like to work, but what we really ought to be thinking about is where does this facility need to be to recruit the workforce of the next 10, 20, and 30 years. Where you want to live when you start work is the most critically important thing. What you may want to do later doesn't matter very much if you don't start work, and I think the urban facility, the connection to downtown, all that really important as we look to the future of what this location is going to provide and will provide. I'd also say, when I talked to Director Cardillo the other day about a letter I got from Jeff Abusi in the building trades, I thought that was a significant commitment of what our construction trade, building trades are prepared to do. The federal requirement here would be you'd have to have 17% minority hires. The St. Louis building trades said we'll do at almost 38%. We'll do over 37% in minority hires. We'll do 6.9% in women working in the building trades to build this $1 billion construction project. We will commit that right at 24% of the workforce working on this project will come from the city of St. Louis. All those things really matter. The focal point for economic development that the governor mentioned and has been an advocate for, all you really have to do is drive out to Arnold, Missouri, where some of this work was moved a decade ago to what was then an open field. That open field that has about 600 employees go to that location every day. That open field is now a very booming economic area of dry cleaners and restaurants and grocery stores and filling stations and all of the things that come with a payroll like this. So what happens every day matters. The hub for future development, and certainly this is the place where the federal government has a chance to create the reality of the designation of promise zone, and where the federal government has a chance to make up for the incredible bad judgment that led to the building and then the demolition of Pruitt-Igoe. We're going to see significant things happen. I thought when Steve Stinger, not too long after he became the county executive, looked at the 3 Missouri sites, Mayor, and endorsed the city site, I thought that was one of the really important moments where it's clear that we have come together. This has big impact for the future. I think it is without any question the best place for the future NGA workforce. And by the way, the head of National Intelligence, the Director of National Intelligence, General Clapper, was a former head of NGA. So while we've been talking about, thinking about, and planning this facility, having the person in charge of all our national intelligence who knows as much, if not more, about geospatial and why it matters than anybody else. That's why this project has stayed on track, at budget. I look forward, Mayor, to your suggestion that hopefully we'll be right back here in early April talking about how we move forward now to get this project completed and get a workforce ready for the future in North St. Louis. Mayor, thanks for your leadership.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Senator. You know, Senator Blunt, before he actually was elected to this position, he gave me a call and said, gave me a heads up that this was coming, and told me at the time that when I get elected, you're U.S. Senator, I want to help you with this effort. So, Senator, thank you so much. And I do want to reemphasize the importance of Darlene Green and her office stepping up. We did a lot together. Her office was very instrumental in the financing and with improvements and a lot of other things. So, Darlene, I wanted to, would you like to say a few words?
Well, yes, sir.
Yes, good, good.
I actually just want to say thank you to everyone involved, not only from the federal level, but the state level, as well as the hard work that we have done here locally. We actually have come together from the Board of Aldermen, the Mayor's office, the Comptroller's office, all of those who are in the development realm of the city of St. Louis. And we all agree that North St. Louis City is the right relocation for the NGA. Yes, I'm right there with the mayor, the president of the Board of Aldermen, and all of the aldermen saying, yes, we have given our site for free. And so we have met not only the minimal needs of the NGA, but we're going further than that. So I look forward to having the NGA located in the city of St. Louis for some years to come. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Thank you so much, Darlene. And I did recognize some of the aldermen that were here today. I'm sure there's maybe some others in here, but the aldermen too, as Darlene said, have been very, very instrumental in supporting this from the very beginning. You know, it's important that you get your political leaders involved, of course. I mean, this is a political process. We need to get support from political entities, the government, particularly the federal government. But ultimately, and I think the theme that you heard here this morning, ultimately, that we are going to win this on the merits because of all the great work that's been done, because everything we've been able to do to get the site ready for development, and all that we offer to help NGA meet its mission.